Now let me go to another sort of Donald Trump subject here, and it involves former Representative Matt Gaetz, because we're going to get to Washington and the details of the House Ethics Committee's report on former Florida Representative Matt Gaetz, obtained by CNN, by the way. The report found that Gaetz paid tens of thousands of dollars to women for sex or drugs on at least 20 occasions. And one of those occasions included sex with a 17-year-old girl in 2017. You might recall that Gaetz was nominated by President-elect Donald Trump to be United States Attorney General, the top cop. The report concludes that Gaetz violated Florida state laws, including the state statutory rape law. The GOP-led panel chose to take the rare step of releasing a report about a former member who resigned from Congress. Here's a portion of the statement from the House Ethics Committee on the findings from the Gaetz investigation. Quote, "The committee determined there is substantial evidence that Representative Gaetz violated House rules and other standards of conduct prohibiting prostitution, statutory rape, illicit drug use, impermissible gifts, special favors or privileges, and obstruction of Congress," end quote. As for Gaetz, he filed a lawsuit today seeking an emergency temporary restraining order trying to stop the release of the report that details the alleged sexual misconduct and alleged drug use. Again, Gaetz was President-elect Trump's initial pick to run the Justice Department as Attorney General. Y'all are going to find it shocking what position I'm about to take, but I'm going to take it. Considering all the things that Donald Trump was accused of and how the GOP fought to defend him, it's kind of ironic, dare I say hypocritical, that they would do this to Gaetz, the GOP-led panel I'm talking about. Don't you think? Isn't there an air of inconsistency to defend Donald Trump while he was running for re-election so fervently, yet you're throwing Matt Gaetz under the bus? I'm just talking to the GOP-led panel I'm talking about. That's all I'm saying. I'm not absolving Gaetz from any shred of guilt. That's not where I'm going. I don't know the details. I'm going to believe what they report. I'm just saying it's a little bit inconsistent. Having said that, to Matt Gaetz, it's called comeuppance, my man. That's what you're receiving. Because you weren't just despised by the Democrats, you were despised by the GOP, your party. They couldn't stand your ass. They don't like you. Remember how you forced Kevin McCarthy out? Remember that? Remember when, during the Republican convention, Kevin McCarthy was doing an interview and you were behind him trolling him with the childishness? You already got him booted out as Speaker of the House. You already took care of that, but every chance you had to take a dig at him with something trivial, you didn't hesitate because you didn't like him. Well, there were a lot of people, likely on the GOP panel, that did like Kevin McCarthy, that did like some of the other Republicans that don't like you. And they said, this is an opportunity to get this dude, even if he's one of our own. Think about that. And you're Matt Gaetz. See what I'm talking about when I talk about the importance of being the adult in the room? Showing a level of class and decorum so you dissuade people from wanting to come at you to some degree? See what I mean? I'm not again. I don't know what happened. I don't know what you did with some 17-year-old. I don't know about sex tapes or payments to people. I don't know anything about this. I'm talking about your behavior with your contemporaries that was completely childish and unnecessary. That's what I'm talking about. And now they came back and got you. Now you stepped down from your position in the House because you were supposed to be the top cop, which brings me to Trump. Why would you even consider putting that man in the position where he was going to vie as the top cop in this nation, being Attorney General? See, this is the concern that we should have with Donald Trump. Because Matt Gaetz is a loyalist. He's somebody that supported you. But what about the qualifications? If it wasn't for Republicans letting you know they weren't going to vibe with that decision, Donald Trump would still have him trying to be the next United States Attorney General. Why? Why? To Pete Hegseth for Fox News. I see your work. You work with one of my best buddies, Will Cain. Used to work with me at ESPN. Is now over at Fox. I root for Will Cain all day, every day. Pete Hegseth, they talk about you and some of your personal transgressions, alleged transgressions, that is. I don't know any of that, nor am I trying to talk about that. Handle your business. Here's my issue. You're a host on Fox News during the weekends, not even the weekday, the weekends. Listen to me, Brandon. I'm talking to you. You're a Fox News host on the weekends. There's nothing inside. I know that you served in the military. I know that you served our country with honor and bravery by everything that I've read. But you're a Fox News host. And suddenly you think it's good that you are going to head the Department of Defense? Over 3 million employees? You see, this is the problem. This is the problem. We've got hundreds of qualified people out there who are Republicans who support Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, you gonna go with Pete Hegseth? Really? That's what we doing? Pete Hegseth, man, come on, bro. Now, I understand the presidency is a different animal and it's an elected position, and as a result, but you got the House, you got the Senate, you got a cabinet, you got chief of staff, you got all of this stuff. This is the military, bro. This is the military. Should we go to war with Iraq? What's up with Iran? Should we pull out of Ukraine? Should we continue to support them against Russia? The Israel-Palestinian conflict involving Hamas and ultimately Hezbollah. New leadership, new regime in Syria. I mean, we're supposed to look at you and say we're comfortable with you being one of the dudes in the president's ear, main dudes in the president's ear, as the guy running the Department of Defense? I understand you serving in the cabinet in some capacity, but damn, you're just gonna wake up and run 3 million people. See, this is the kind of stuff, B. This is the kind of stuff to make me hesitant, Betty. This kind of stuff, Griff, this kind of stuff, I'm talking to my staff here, this kind of stuff that makes me worry. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Trump. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about some of the folks in conservative media. Never before in our lifetime would you have tolerated such decisions by an elected official when it came to their cabinet members. Forget the behavior, forget the allegations and the accusations. I'm not getting into any of that. Pete Hegseth, I'm sure he's very smart, very knowledgeable, obviously cares about this country. His views might be different than a lot of people, but a lot of people agree with his views. I get that. I'm only talking about going from being a host on Fox News on a Saturday to running a department with 3 million people. That's our military. In charge, overseeing generals and lieutenants and captains and everybody else in the front lines. That is what worries me. That shit is scary. That's what I mean when I talk about how Trump can scare the living daylights out of people and cause chaos. You can't tell me there ain't a bunch of people officially, resume-wise, conspicuously more qualified than what Matt Gaetz brought to the table and what Pete Hegseth. And I'm not lumping the two because of their accusations. I'm lumping the two because of the qualifications on their resume. Come on, y'all. Come on.